Hello everybody! Welcome to the matches for our Harga Mastery deck. I'm trying to play with the new Promises by Firelight expansion. I'm really excited about a lot of these cards. You can check and see the full list down below, so we actually have a link to the last video that has the deck tech that just shows the whole thing, or you can look at the Eternal Warcry or deck list or whatever. I'm gonna keep this hand. Oh, this one's tough. Not having any justice here is hard. I might have to just redraw this. Okay, this is probably better because we still get a turn 2 Intrepid Longhorn at least. I'm going to keep this. This is a Minotaur deck. I'm very excited to try and run it. I like the idea of a turn 2 Intrepid Longhorn enough that I think I keep this. If we draw a Shadow, we could maybe get Blackhall Warleader, which might be even better. We'll see what we can do here. But yeah, we're going to be playing inside of actual ranked, even with this very fun deck that we have, because somebody's running around in the practice rooms while I was testing this out a little bit, just timing out every single turn, and I faced them about 3 different times, so I think that we want to avoid that if we can. Oof. Well, this is the absolute worst possibility. No power cards, and facing a teacher on turn 2 against a 100-some card deck. Wow. Really lucky to get teacher specifically so early. Do they also have a pump spell or removal? Because that would be particularly insane. And I mean, if they have Finest Hour, this is the most insane hand that you could ever possibly want. Especially considering, again, having that many cards. It's really, really wild. Alright, well, do they have it? They do. Amazing. Absolutely stunning. No way that we can ever win a game like that. That is super busted. Wow. Well, sometimes your opponent just plays extra cards because their cards are all extra good. I would love to be able to draw like that. We'll try again and see if we can get a better game. This hand seems a little better. Since I didn't get to mention it in the first game because it was over so fast, I just want to give a big shout out to all the subs and patrons who do make these videos possible. It means a lot to me, especially as we go into the winter here, because I am a wedding photographer and it's pretty seasonal work. So that I have this as an actual job in a way is super helpful, and it's very humbling that there's people out there that support me through this. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. I don't think we need another power card here. What I need is some gas. Something like a Harga would be great. And we've got removal for that, so not the worst thing for us to see. And we've got some time before it's relevant. We have a lot of removal. We have a very large portion of removal. What we do need is actual gas. Oh, our opponent didn't attack. They might not realize that this, when it's invulnerable to damage, it means that it doesn't get the mastery on this, right? It doesn't actually help Varret get mastery. If they attack and I block, they still get mastery on this, and I don't get any mastery on mine. It does almost make me want to not attack there, but I've got removal. We can deal with it. Yeah, alright, fair enough. I probably play Copperhall Elite in the hopes that we draw another power card. This is what I mean. I talked about this in the deck tech. I tried to cut down as many crests as I could because I didn't want to run into this issue of I want to be able to go Copperhall Elite this turn and then next turn go Evangel and Desecrate, and I can't do that with depleted power. This deck is pretty aggressive, and so it relies a lot on having undepleted power. It's not really a control deck. But I'm okay with just playing the Copperhall here. My opponent didn't attack in last time. They might still not realize. And I'm not going to block. If they have a Finest Hour, it's so brutal for me. Whereas next turn I can actually just hold up the Desecrate. And that feels a lot better. Yeah. Our opponent just doesn't have any power and apparently just is going to scoop the turn. Not bad. Having a big 4/4 Aegis Overwhelm can sometimes just steal you games. I think I'll count those first 2 games as 1. We'll do another 4, because this is an interesting start to a video. Here we go. We're starting to get some good hands. It's showing that I think that this deck isn't that bad on the power. Crest on turn 1 is nice. I will keep the Kuro too. Being on the play with a Blackhall Warleader always feels pretty good. They might be able to stop it. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's gross. But we can have ways to get rid of that. We've got a lot of removal spells. We've got a Hidden Road Smuggler, so we can go and find, like, Banish or Sword of Unity or Xenan Temple, something. Opponent attacking. They have a trick, so I imagine that's Equivocate? Oh, wow. Opponents have some really wild hands this time. That is very, 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 very good. And we know they have Equivocate too, so, I mean, this is probably the ideal hand they could ever possibly have. The only bad thing about it is they're on the draw instead of on the play. This is one of the best hands that I've seen out of the Elysian Tempo deck, for sure. It's one of the best starts. Yep. Yeah, wow. I mean, there's no way for us to actually win this game now. We can just scoop. I have to chump block. There's no way that I can actually get out of that. They're going to draw a bunch of cards, make it so that we have extra cost on everything. That's super, super wild. It's hard to beat those kinds of hands, though. That's what the Tempo deck does. The Tempo deck, it can just spike a hand that is impossible to beat unless you have very, very specific answers in your hand. And while we have a lot of removal, like we've got the Desecrates, we've got the Slays, it's just didn't have any of it in the hand, and it will, in fact, kill us. No Hargas at all yet, which is unfortunate. Whew, boy. Okay. We have a Slay this time. I don't know if I need to keep this. We have seen some of the most buck-wild hands I've ever seen out of the game in the last few games. This is really something. There's some incredible hands going around. Lots and lots of turn 2 teachers with tons and tons of removal backup, which is certainly a thing. Oh, these are absolutely back-breaking hands. I'll keep this because we're on the draw and we get a scout, and hopefully we don't end up in a really bad spot again. These have been some incredibly brutal games. Okay, that's good. We need to have that undepleted power, like I talked about. So obviously snap bottom that. We're just trying to get as much power as we can. Do they have the 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop that every opponent has had? Let's see. Oof. It looks like they do. I mean, they're looking at their hand. They obviously have some plays to make. They've got some kind of a fast spell. Whether that's like, okay, Devour, sure. I was gonna say Annihilate, Rapid Shot even. Something. Well, I mean, that's power. It is Shadow, so I'm gonna play that first. No Hargas yet, still. Which is certainly unfortunate. I might have to just start with Intrepid Longhorn here. Wow, double Devour. They're getting a really nasty start. But at least it's not a start that is hurting us in a way. Like, it's not putting a lot of pressure on us. So it might allow us a chance to come back. I'm wondering if I lead with a Warleader so that we can then go Harga and try and play both of our masteries. I like that idea, because that's the point of this deck, right? Is to do something like that. We could also just Relentless Gorehorn next turn, or Copperhall Elite. We'll just have to see what feels best. Corendon Merchant. Okay. I imagine that this is going to get traded away. They might be trying out the new Dragon, which is a card that I've really wanted to play with. I'm going to go ahead and slam. Just get that out of the way, not let them have anything on the field. And I'm going to try the Harga. It's not necessarily the best thing. It might have been better to Copperhall Elite, because then we've got, like, play both of these, Gorehorn, try and get, or play both of these and then Gorehorn afterwards, try and get a really fast, nasty board. But I'm going to try and go the Mastery route instead, and just see how good we can make that. Get everything really close to Mastery all in one turn, and see how our opponent can answer that, or if they can. But there is the new Dragon that's a 5/3 flyer, which I think they might be playing. Yeah, it definitely feels like that kind of a deck. So there's a 5/3 flyer dragon that has the Entomb of that you just draw it back into your hand as long as you sacrifice another unit. So there's some cool things you can do there. Banish is a card that we can use to get rid of the scrap tank. So that's something. For now, we've got Longhorn, deal damage there. That's 5. I don't really want to attack in because they'll just be able to triple block it. I think that just Varret and pass is actually the way that I have to play this. Get a couple of masteries, set ourselves up. We'll go for that Banish here in a minute. Probably trade Grodov Evangel. And what does our opponent have? Yeah, they definitely look like Grenadin token. Daucus, I believe, is the name of the new card. I can't use Kuro. It might actually be a better idea to get rid of Kuro here.
Only the best for you.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead with the Banish. Cool thing here is because this has lifesteal, boom, we just get a little bit of extra life. I could attack the 1/6 now. And I kind of like that. Okay, not chump blocking. I'm surprised by that. I thought that they might have just chump blocked with one of these and gotten that larger. Dezo's Office. Ugh, okay. That's nasty. They're going to kill Harga? Kill Varret? Or Intrepid? Okay. That is very serviceable for us. We've got some things we can do there. It's pretty awkward that we can't actually attack with Harga now. I don't have a lot of non-Minotaurs in the deck. 3 different ones. We've managed to get them. Double block that to trade with it. Sure. I just want to try and put pressure on that if I can. I can Relentless Gorehorn next turn so that Harga is enough to actually go in and kill this Dezo's Office. We need to get it out of the way. That card's scary. I'm hoping that they don't have a really wide board that they can lay down, but that... Yeah, I was going to say, knowing Grenadin, that might be a very large ask. And it in fact is. Okay, well... Just stuck on power again. Never having the double shadow really hurt us here. I mean, we have half the power that our opponent does. We're not able to just utilize our hand, unfortunately. And that's been quite backbreaking for us so far. They're just going to be able to kill unit after unit after unit now. So I need to draw a shadow next turn or we can just scoop things up. Even as it is, we're probably just dead. It's very, very tough for us to beat Gear Cruncher without the removal at this point. Like I said, not being able to actually utilize our units in time has been very backbreaking. Tested this out a bit and didn't have this many mana problems, but sometimes that's a thing that happens. They had a terrifying start, too. We knew that we were going to be in a lot of trouble when they started off with Double Devour. That's just incredibly strong. Okay, yeah, we can just scoop. They're kind of playing with us now. They have a lot of answers. Oofa doofa. These hands are just not helping us. Yikes. Well, it's better than anything else, so we'll go with it. Kuro is interesting. Good aggressive card. That is not even slightly helpful, so that's unfortunate. We'll play the Shadow Sigil here. I can Argenport Banner next turn and use the other Seek Power, which was the thought process.
Defend the throne.
Nasty. I'm actually going to start with the Varret. Try and maybe have a start where I get to play against my opponent rather than just have them run us over because they're on the play with a very good curve, which has been what's happening. It's funny. At the top ranks, I've been seeing a lot of Reanimator, and I was actually worried about that, and we haven't seen any of that right now. It's just been non-stop aggression with some of the best draws. Very, very, very strong draws. I'm gonna go ahead and play Kuro here and start that up. We've got the stand together so we can do some funky plays here in a minute. We might be able to catch them in something. We've got the Slay for removal. So we've got a few things going for us. This could be a good game. We just need to make sure that we actually draw power cards. Opponent also in some trouble. So here's a question. Will our opponent end up triple blocking? No. If they don't, do we stand together anyway? Like, I could slay this for now. That seems pretty useless. I think that we just wait and hold up stand together. I don't love it, but it is a thing we can do, and they might just try and go for removal. Sure. Huh. I'm gonna get the stand together up. Essentially blank Kuro, but that's actually not that bad. That's okay for us. We go ahead and attack this. They trade. They can triple block it. Well, that doesn't work out actually as well as they would like. The mastery doesn't matter here. Kuro is more of a late game mastery card. But what it does do is get rid of that 4/4. They needed to block with everything. If they'd done that, then they would have had us. Well, there we go. That was a very nice curve out. We managed to do exactly what we wanted to do. We had a lot of obnoxious Aegis units so that they weren't just easy to get rid of, some decent butts on them, and some good aggression. So that was exactly what we were trying to do a little bit more. I'd like to do one more. I know this is 7 games instead of 5, but these have been the fastest games I've ever played. These have been insane. Our opponent has either just run us over or had a lot of mana problems and done absolutely nothing. They've had the most whack draws one way or the other. And I'd like to try and get a game that's a little bit more representative. I'm going to keep this. This hand is really interesting. We've got just the Sigil so that we can go and get the Shadow for Blackhall Warleader, which is what I think I have to do. I really wish that we'd been on the play more. I think we've been on the play once in these 7 games. It's not been often. It's really not been helpful. And I think I have to do that, though. Oh my god! You're joking! That is the 3rd turn 2 teacher. Every single deck that's running time has gotten a turn 2 teacher on us on the play every time. Ah! What a fair and balanced card. We lose. I guess that we try and chump block so that I can, I don't know, maybe desecrate in a couple turns? What is going on? This is wild. How do they do it? How do you do it? I need to know. I need to know how my opponent manages this. God, this is unreasonable. Oh man. I guess Crest into Varret so that we can maybe get, like, Minotaur down. Okay, now we have Xenan Banner. So I kind of wish I'd played Shadow Sigil so that we could desecrate. This is insane. How many times are we going to face turn 2 teacher on the play? Half of our games. My god. I might just let this happen. This is absolutely insane. Wow. I guess. I don't know. I'm not even sure what the best move here anymore is. I know that I'm drawing a power, so at least, like, we're not punished the first time is kind of the hope. This is absolutely back-breaking, though. What insane hands. I kind of feel like I just need to slay that. We'll hit them with the Varret, because we're not actually going to be able to block with it. There's a small chance we can come out of this, I hope. We've got removal and Blackhall next turn if we want, or just the Minotaur Platemaker, or Blackhall stand together. We've got a few different things, for sure.
Take this.
Okay. Well, now removal is looking better and better. Okay. We may have a chance.
The battlefield awaits.
Maybe. Sodi. Okay. Let's see how silly our opponent is. Sodi is terrifying. Oh, you done hecked up! You don't do that! You don't block like that! Oh no! Okay, now we're in the driver's seat. I kind of want to go for the lifesteal, but I should probably just keep it Aegis up, because that's going to be obnoxious. Another Blackhall Warleader. I kind of like that, actually. It's something that we can for sure play with the Platemaker. Ah. Let's see. Well, a thing we can do is get in with a 6/7. And then we can actually trade Platemaker for the Titan if we need to. Assuming, of course, that they don't immediately have the best card. Fair enough. Ow. I think I have to take that. This was a rough game. Boda made a really bad block that kind of let us get back into it, but it's still very tough here. That's neat. That is very neat. I think I like just slamming, honestly.
Come no closer.
I like being the aggressor here. We've got a really big Harga to just sit back and stop this Titan from being a thing. I can chump block if I need to. Our Blackhall Warleader under Aegis is huge. And our opponent does not have a lot of life left. You betcha. I mean, I could also block with Varret. Could block with everything. I'm gonna do that. Do you have double equivocate? And if they do, are they able to stop this on the backswing? See, like, they can only trade for one of those, and we get the mastery on this, too. Alban Road. That's a good one. It's gonna stop us from the Platemaker. Another teacher. That being said, they're still just in incredible amounts of trouble. I'm gonna get the second Harga, which gets mastery almost immediately. I guess if I had played, then they would have been in more trouble.
Call more guards.
Now, this is what I wanted to do. This is a game. 10-10 killer Aegis Blackhall Warleader. This is spicy. Thank you. This is finally what I really wanted to do. I'm so oh, I just did a very dumb thing. I thought that it was still 6 because I forgot. Oops. That's okay. We have lots of answers, thankfully. I didn't mean to do that. I wasn't trying to BM my opponent. I made an honest mistake. I forgot that it went down 1 because we lost the Minotaur from the equivocate. Still, a good game. That was finally what we wanted to do. We had a tough start playing against all these turn 2 teachers again and again. But, man, Harga can be nasty. I'm glad that we finally managed to draw it, get it into play, and use its abilities and show off kind of a little bit of what it can do. So that was a lot of fun. I hope that you appreciated that last game as much as I did. This was a very roller coaster set of games, for sure. There was a lot of very, very wild draws on both sides, where it felt like every win that we got, our opponent was having a lot of mana problems, and every loss we got, our opponent was most certainly not. But yeah, this was a lot of fun to do. I really like Blackhall plus Harga and stuff. Like, if you can get those chaining together appropriately, they are unbelievable. This with a little bit of extra pump is so nasty. Like, if it can just automatically have attack like we had there, getting it off of the Blackhall Warleader, it's mean. It's really, really mean. It's hard to overstate how gross that was. That game was disgusting. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really like this idea for a deck, and there's definitely things that could be moved around. Like, I'm not sure if Gorehorn or Platemaker is better. I'm not sure if you should just be running Tavrod. You might want to try and chop down and not have Shadow at all, and just end up going into more of a Combrei list and playing more of Combrei Minotaurs. Like, you can play Auric Record Keeper as another 3-cost unit, the 4/4 with Entomb, because that's a Minotaur. So there's a lot of things that you can do that way as well. Make it a little bit more consistent on that side of things and worry a little bit less around the mastery, right? Having things like Kuro and things like that. But I wanted to try and see if we could make it where we're an aggro deck that also has late game reach, which is what like Gorehorn, Platemaker, and Kuro can do. Right? They give us a little bit of that reach in the late game, where we can suddenly, out of nowhere, even though it looks like we're an aggro deck and it looks like we have run out of gas, we just top deck something like Kuro, get mastery quickly, and boom, we're back in the game right away. Or same with like Platemaker or Gorehorn, like we can just smash through a tough race or a board stall. In any case, I do really appreciate, like I said, everybody who's been supporting the stream recently. It means a lot to me. We're in the middle of doing a hero tournament where we've got all of the different people in our Discord that have made hero decks based on specific rules, and we're all doing a whole tournament around that, much like we did earlier for our Pauper tournament. So we're going to be putting that up on YouTube soon, so you can check that out right away. And I'll be back with some more content right away, because there are a ton of cool cards in this last mini expansion. I want to play with basically all of them. They're very wild. They're not necessarily good, but they're wild. They're super fun. So I'm going to be excited to do some new content, and I'll be seeing you around.